Okay, we're about a week away from the NFL draft
That's
right
right.
now. So this will be the last one quarterback mock draft for the 2023 Dynasty rookies until the real NFL draft, where
That's
we can
correct.
start knowing exactly where these guys have landed and give you a better, I guess, better advice on where to draft these players. So do us a massive favor. Drop a like to show some support. Subscribe if you like Dynasty
Come
content.
on, baby.
And I want you to comment down below. Again, we said this last time, but go ahead and make a call in the chat. Make a prediction? Who's going to get drafted to a team that you just feel extremely confident about? Comment down below. And hey, if you want rankings for when the NFL draft is happening for your rookie drafts, after each day of the NFL draft, we're going to be dropping brand new rankings, both Superflex and one quarterback over on Flock Fantasy. So use our code LAND when signing up to get 30% off. But let's go ahead here, Badake, and start at the 101. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in your hands here. What are you doing
Sure.
with the 101 here?
Yeah, I think it's as obvious. Let's just keep it straightforward. Bijan Robinson, he's going to your Washington Commanders here for. I think this is one of the first times we've seen him get mocked to there. So
Yeah.
first of all, how are you feeling? Do you like it? But I'm taking Bijan here at the 101.
How am I feeling? I mean, I feel I I don't know what to think about that because I don't think we're one of those teams that's in a position where it makes sense to take a running back in the first round.
Okay.
I think some of those other teams make a little bit more sense towards the back half of the first round. But it does seem like a Ron Rivera move. I mean, all we want to do is establish the run. It feels like every single uh, game. I don't know. I'm indifferent because it would be fun to watch him on the team. But at the same time, it's like we have a lot of other needs, and we're going
Right.
running back. Okay, fair
That
enough.
makes sense.
Um, okay, so Bijan Robinson is off the board, and I am now up at the 102. My wide receiver one since day one, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He goes to the Seattle Seahawks. Some people are up and down about this landing spot. Personally, I like this landing spot. I think it makes a ton of sense. You've got your quarterback in Geno Smith, who's already there. You've got really the competition. I wouldn't say DK is competition for JSN because I think they play two different roles. The
Right.
competition is Tyler Lockett, and Tyler Lockett is an incredible wide receiver. He's also 30, 31 years old, and this is kind of the perfect player to complement DK Metcalf long term. I bet on talent in rookie drafts, and that's what I'm doing here with JSN. Clearly the wide receiver one in my mind.
Yeah, I can definitely I don't mind the landing spot. I'm not in love with it. I don't mind it. I can see the pathway, but definitely not my first spot for JSN.
By the way, these landing spots, if you guys want to follow along, this is from Dane Brugler's 7 round mock from The Athletic. The Athletic has a paywall. Do whatever you want, but we'll leave the link in the description below in case you want to follow along and see what the landing spots are.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, normally I would go Quentin Johnston here, but I guess a little spoiler, he does go in the second. Was an early second. But, in this scenario I have to pivot. I'm going to go with my first round wide receiver. Luckily he does go to my team. He does go to the New York Giants. So it may seem like a homer pick, it may not, but gave me Jordan Addison here at the 103. Just makes absolute sense. He's clearly going to be the wide receiver one there, and he's going to be moved around outside and in the slot. And that's exactly what Brian Dable wants as in a wide receiver. So I will not be surprised if it's Jordan Addison or even Zay Flowers. I keep saying I'm getting a gut feeling that they may not like Quentin, and Quentin may go either earlier or after. So give me Jordan Addison here at the 103.
Yeah, we've seen, here in Dane Brugler's mock, Quentin falls. We've seen in other mocks, he falls. I
Mm-hmm.
saw in Peter Schrager's mock recently, he had him going after Jonathan Mingo, still in the
Yeah.
first round to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious if that's a temperature on GMs or if that's just people's, prospects fatigue. I'm not sure.
Right. Right.
Here at the 104, I'm gonna go Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's just staring me in the face here at the 104. He goes to the Cardinals, but with I think the third pick in the second round, so really early, kind of that range where we saw like Brees Hall go, Javante Williams. So it's still
Yep.
pretty good draft capital that early second round. He goes to the Cardinals. James Conner's there, but I think that they would be moving forward with Jahmyr Gibbs as the focal point of this team. If not day one, then by midseason. You don't spend an early second round pick on a running back as a rebuilding team and just not play that running back. So I'll take him here. I think he fits this system perfectly. And then when Kyler is back, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyler, Hollywood Brown, Rondale Moore. That's kind of and Trey McBride. That's kind of your crew. But Jahmyr Gibbs, if you're wanting Kyler Murray, hey, let's start to already transition into the back half of your career. Let's change your play style a little bit. Well, you just gave him the perfect running back to allow him to change that play style. Okay, the play's breaking down. Fine, you dump off in Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's start to implement that. To me, if they take Jahmyr Gibbs, that is one of the more underrated reasons as to why they would do so. But elite receiving running back has everything that I personally want in a PPR format to be one of those guys who could finish top 10. So I'll take him there at the 104.
Yeah, and this is one of my, if you guys didn't watch, one of our realistic landing spots for some of these running backs, and the Cardinals were one of the spots for Jahmyr Gibbs that I said. So I do really like it. I think this is a realistic landing spot, and they have an early second, which makes sense, as we keep getting it closer and closer to the NFL draft. It really just feels like Bijan Robinson, in my opinion, is going to be the only running back that's going in the first. Jahmyr could squeeze in, but that's my gut feeling right now. Going into the NFL draft. I think
Peter Schrager had Gibbs in the back half of the first. I'll have to double check, but it's very like back and forth right now. It's very back and forth.
It is. So I'm excited can't wait. Just less than a couple of days here for the NFL draft. Okay. Now,
so sorry, just to clarify there, Peter Schrager had Jahmyr Gibbs to the Cowboys at pick 26. So again, it's like back half of the first, early second feels like the vibes here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now I'm stuck with Quentin, or I have another first-round wide receiver, and, do I go my guy? I think I will go my guy here. And I'm going Quentin just based off talent, based off what I believe he is my wide receiver one. He's going to the Houston Texans, and this is exactly what the Texans need. Not only does he go there and he immediately becomes the wide receiver one, he is pairing up with C.J. Stroud, who goes with the second pick overall in the NFL draft. So you get CJ pairing up with becoming the wide receiver one, and he is immediately going to be demanding 100 plus targets a game, or a year, excuse me. A game, imagine.
A game. My guy's going to be a Hall of Famer.
My guy is going to be different.
Week 6.
But give me Quentin Johnson here. He does go with the first pick in the second round. So 33rd, Quentin Johnston. Give me him at the 105.
Yeah, so keep in mind, like Badake said, they just brought in a rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud in Houston. They bring in Quentin Johnston. This is eerily similar to the 2020 NFL draft, a different franchise. Maybe the Texans are trying to follow suit.
Right.
Joe Burrow goes number 1 in 2020. Early second round, T. Higgins off the board.
Come on, baby.
The Bengals. T. Higgins is one of those upside ceiling comps I have for Quentin Johnston. Of course, I'm not saying he will be as good as T. Higgins, but that is one of those upside ceiling comps. The floor is much lower, as we've discussed with Quentin, but kind of following suit there, he'll clearly be, I'm not going to say he's just going to dominate target share from day one, but he'll clearly be the guy there by the end of the season, if he can, improve in those areas that he needs to. Okay, I'm up here at the 106. And you mentioned it, but there's a first round wide receiver. There's also, I hate to say it, I hate this landing spot. There's probably only one landing spot I completely despise for a wide receiver, and this is it. I think I'm going to let you make the pick. I'm going to take Zach Charbonnet here at the 106.
Sure.
He goes to the Bengals in the second round. So assuming this pick actually happens, we keep talking, is Joe Mixon safe? Is he going to take a pay cut? What's going to happen? In this scenario, I'm assuming, and what does assuming do? Makes an ass out of you and me, but I'm assuming this means that Zach Charbonnet is going to be their starter by midseason, or, hey, Joe, you're not going to take a cut. We just drafted a second round running back. You're out of here. So I'm going to go ahead and take Zach Charbonnet at the 106.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. And then Joe becomes a free agent, and maybe he finds a new home to a team that maybe doesn't draft a running back. in this NFL draft. Okay, at the 107 here, yes, I am going to make the pick. That is Zay Flowers. He does go to the Baltimore Ravens. I actually really like this landing spot, but now with OBJ there, what's going to happen with Lamar will clearly, at least in our opinions, I think we can both agree on this. We don't believe that, not that we don't believe, why would OBJ go to the Baltimore Ravens if he's not playing with Lamar Jackson? Yes, probably just for the bag, but still, like, OBJ purely went to the Rams to win a Super Bowl. He's not going to go to another team just to get a bag. I would say he's pretty set in that area, right? So I think the next goal is to win another ring. And him going to the Baltimore Ravens, it makes me believe that Lamar is going to be there, or makes me believe that Lamar said, hey, you need to go bring in some weapons. You need to bring in somebody that can help me. And that's exactly what they did here, bringing in OBJ. Now Zay Flowers, drafting him in the first round. He can either play the slot. Zay Flowers can be moved around as well. So can OBJ. So can Rashad Bateman. So I'll take Zay Flowers here at the 107.
Yeah, and, there's... If you turn on ESPN, the sentiment is, the last time OBJ was playing, he was going to be the Super Bowl MVP. That was 2 years ago. And that was another ACL injury ago. There's no guarantee OBJ is the same player. I'm not saying he won't be. He's most likely the most valuable. Like if we're talking redraft, OBJ should probably be the number one guy off the board in that wide receiver room. But there's no, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, this is so bad for Zay Flowers' future.
I hear you.
Just again, the landing spot is what hurts me. Shout out to Reception Perception. They really made me reevaluate Josh Downs. I still have some concerns, but I'll take him here at the 108. A landing spot that I keep saying I'm not afraid of. If you believe in a wide receiver talent, and that wide receiver talent goes to a team that has a very clear need at the position they just drafted, you shouldn't be worried about that player. It's the same people who were worried about Garrett Wilson last year. Hopefully they learned their mistakes. Josh Downs, again, not the same prospect as Garrett Wilson, but he goes to the Patriots in the second round, and he's competing with Juju, the guy who his
Super Bowl
knees
champion,
could
actually.
barely hold up last year, and was on and off the field, was inconsistent. That's who he's competing with, and maybe Mike Gesicki. If you really believe that Josh Downs can be this dominant slot receiver in the NFL, then if he goes to the Patriots, you shouldn't have any hesitation. So I'll take him here at the 108. And shout out to Reception Perception. I really enjoyed his profile over there.
Yeah. Josh Downs, probably one of my favorite wide receivers coming out here. Great slot receiver, great contested catch guy as well. So I like to pick at the 108. Okay. We always say, well, we can get tight ends later. We can get tight ends later. We can get tight ends later. I'm seeing a running back here that went in the third round that looks really, really intriguing here that I can take at the 109. And I think I might do it because I think this is exactly where he would go if he got third round draft capital going to this team. He went to the Philadelphia Eagles, and this may feel a little bit early, but Israel Abanikanda goes to the Eagles here. And it's clear that he is immediately going to be taking this opportunity away from, obviously, Kenny Gainwell. I was thinking of Kenny Gainwell. I don't think Rashad Penny is a real big factor. I've never been a Rashad Penny believer. I don't think he's going to stay on this team or even stay healthy enough to play 17 games. So give me Israel Abanikanda here. Had a fantastic pro day, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing and continuing on the NFL field, especially with one of the best offensive lines. Jalen Hurts just got his contract extension, so he could line up here and be with Jalen Hurts for the next 4 or 5 years. If they really want that to happen, especially once again with this offensive line, I think this is a really, really great landing spot for Izzy just to come in and just take it with ease because of how good this blocking scheme is over there in Philly. So give me him at the 109. I think it may be a bit early, but I actually really, really like it and it makes sense.
So I don't think it's early. Izzy is my RB4. I released that video, pre-draft rankings. He's my RB4 right now. I released my top 12 video a couple days ago. But I would have a little pushback on him just instantly being the number one there. And I guess that's because we see Rashad Penny a little bit differently. I think if Rashad Penny is healthy, he has shown he is like a healthy Rashad Penny. It's going to sound crazy, is a top 5 running back in the NFL. The last 2 years, look analytically, when he has been healthy, he has been analytically a top 5 running back in the NFL. If he stays healthy, there's no reason in my mind that he doesn't show out at camp and has a role in this offense. But I need it to be second round for me to be like, Gainwell is not important, Penny's not important. But at the same time, Badake, this is exactly the pick I would also make because of the offense that he's stepping into, because of that uncertainty. But I would personally be a little bit less confident in just saying he's going to be, he'll take the role day one. I don't see that happening.
That's fair. And once again, that's just something that we disagree on with Rashad Penny. So, but hey, if you would take him here, then we would both take him here. Then we agree on something.
Yeah. No, I agree. This is the right pick. I'm just saying I would be hesitant to label him day one starter. But it's an incredible offense to be a part of. Clearly, opportunity is there. The pathway you can make a case for, and it's a great offensive line to be behind. So I like the pick for sure. Okay, I'm up here. A lot of running backs that I like went in the third round, but man, I'll be honest, I don't really.
The landing spots are not sexy
love
whatsoever.
the landing spots. Oof, this is tough. Okay. I think we're going to pivot then. And, maybe if I'm actually at the 110 in a real draft and I need running back, I could justify here going running back. But purely because of the way we format this draft where we're going back and forth, I could wait on a lot of these guys. And maybe that means the 110's a trade back if this is how the draft actually pans out.
Right.
But I'm going to take a first-round wide receiver, Dalton Kincaid. He goes to the Los Angeles Chargers. And so the Chargers don't go wide receiver, but in some way they kind of do. Because if you know anything about Dalton Kincaid, this is a player who is lining up much more as a wide receiver rather than an inline blocker. Yes, he's older coming out, but his story is really cool. And we might not have even seen his full potential unleashed yet at Utah. But the best route runner in the class, potentially tied for the best hands with Michael Mayer. He is the better receiving threat, even though Michael Mayer is the more complete tight end. But you look at Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, what's the percentage chance that one of those guys are going to be injured this year? It feels like over 50%. It just happens every single year. So Kincaid is that future piece. And you know what? Who's in that division? They're thinking, man, how do we get the edge in this division? Well, the Chiefs have an elite tight end. We could potentially try and get an elite tight end for ourselves in Dalton Kincaid. If you don't like this pick, you probably don't believe that this tight end class is as good as we believe, and that's okay. But I'll take him here at the 110, and I know it's really tough because there's a lot of good running backs on the board, but that spot feels perfect to me.
Yeah, that's exactly why I went Izzy first, because I can see the landing spot. Izzy was probably the best running back one of the best running backs available with one of the best landing spots. So I'm going to pivot to your way as well. I'm going to take the next tight end, technically the second tight end off the board, going to the Dallas Cowboys, and that's Michael Mayer. And obviously he's stepping right into this Dalton Schultz role. He's going to clearly kill all of Jake Ferguson's stock there. But, I think this makes absolute sense. They get their tight end. This has been a franchise where they've always had a solidified tight end there. And getting Michael Mayer here in the first, once again, one of the best hands, probably one of the best tight ends coming out of this draft. And I do really believe he will be here for the next 10, 15 years. Kind of, obviously, this is a really high ceiling, but Travis Kelce length of career. And I think that's exactly what Michael Mayer can do here if he stays on the Dallas Cowboys and gets the contract extension, et cetera, et cetera. So give me Michael Mayer here at the 111 going to the boys.
Okay, so Michael Mayer's off the board. And this is probably where I'm going to go running back here because there's good running backs available. It's just the landing spot is not sexy. Mm-hmm. And you guys can see this if you're looking at the mock draft that we're using. It's in the description. But, man, I guess I'm just going to go based off my rankings. And I'll go Tajay Spears here at the 112. He goes to the Texans. Tajay Spears is now competing with Dameon Pierce. I would argue that they kind of feel like the perfect complement to each other. And if CJ Stroud is in town, if Quentin Johnston's in town, you could see a case for this team relying on the run a little bit more. To me, this is not ideal for Tajay Spears, but in the same breath, it's not ideal for Dameon Pierce either. Like Dameon Pierce he will be losing touches to Tajay Spears. Tajay Spears is not a non-factor in my mind. So who knows who wins out there? I think Dameon Pierce probably is a more valuable player, but Tajay Spears, third round running back, I'll take him here. There's a lot of competition for all these players. But yeah, as we head into the 201, what are you thinking?
Yeah, Tajay Spears. Interesting going to the Texans here. Okay. Yeah, this is tough, man. This is really tough. I mean, I think I might go. Actually, I think I might go wide receiver once again. And I really like here at the turn here at the 201. I'll take a chance here because I really like Marvin Mims. He goes to the Indianapolis Colts. Great slot receiver, and it makes sense. Michael Pittman goes on the outside, Alec Pierce in the wide slot. Marvin Mims goes in the slot here, and that makes absolute sense here. And Anthony Richardson goes with the 4th pick to the Colts. So how does that help him? Honestly, I'm not sure, but it's a great quarterback coming in. They have a significant amount of weapons around him with Jonathan Taylor. So I'll take Marvin Mims here playing the slot receiver. Can he break out and be something? I think he can. Decent, I would say, not amazing draft capital, but third round draft capital, middle of the third round. I think we can definitely take a chance with Marvin Mims here.
Okay. Okay. So here at the 202, man, I just don't know if I can go Mims over those other guys in the second round, man.
That's fair.
We'll talk about those later. I'm going to go Tank Bigsby. He goes to the Rams. Mm-hmm. I have been notoriously not anti-Cam Akers, but just trying to help people realize, hey, probably not going to happen. Tank Bigsby comes in as a third round pick here. There's not a scenario in my mind in which Tank Bigsby is just a non-factor after being drafted in the third round to the Rams. Sorry, Cam Akers owners, but he's probably never going to be the workhorse that you want him to be. So I'll take Tank Bigsby here at the 202.
Okay. Tank goes to the 202. Yeah, here's another wide receiver I'm okay to take a chance with. Second round. Should I go with this guy or another guy? Ooh. You know what? I'm not gonna disrespect too much. Give me Jalen Hyatt. I mean, we say this every time. We're not big Jalen Hyatt believers, but he does go to New Orleans Saints. Does become the field stretcher here. Obviously, Chris Olave in the middle of the field. He goes in the middle of the field or outside, but Hyatt is just going to be on the outside, stretching the field. Maybe Derek Carr. Maybe he has 80 yards and a touchdown, hypothetically, right? Like, that's going to be the type of upside that Jalen Hyatt is. And if he's getting second-round draft capital, which I think we both agree that he's not a first-round pick, but if he goes in the second round, I think I'm comfortable. That means the team believes in him. That means maybe we need to believe in him a little bit more, potentially. But let's see. Let's wait and see here at the 203. I'll take Jalen Hyatt and give him the respect that everyone needs. Someone's going to say, Jalen Hyatt went too low already,
Yeah, I would be taking Hyatt over. That's one of those names I'd be taking over Mims if he gets early second. I would also take Cedric Tillman, who I'll take here at the 204 over Mims. He goes to the Bills second round. As much as I like Mims, I don't know. A-Rich doesn't give me a bunch of confidence for a wide receiver.
No, I know. I mean, but that was just. I was trying to just say, hey, Anthony Richardson went, Marvin Mims, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, but that would make me more concerned about Michael Pittman, more concerned about Alec Pierce and Marvin Mims. I'll take Cedric Tillman here. He gets Josh Allen. We know who Josh Allen is. Mm-hmm. I'll take him here at the 204. He's a late second-round pick for this team. And, I'm not going to say he's instantly better than Gabe Davis, but there's a very good opportunity for him on this team given the competition he's faced. That's a political way to answer that. So, yeah.
No, that's fair. That is fair. Okay. 205 here. Do I go quarterback? I actually still like one running back here, and this is exactly where I'll be happy taking him at the 205, and maybe you agree or disagree. I'll take Big O Roscoe going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I understand there's a lot of Rachaad White believers, and I think this is the type of running back that I was scared of for Rachaad White to come in. Rashad Johnson is a do-it-all back, in my opinion. He is a first and second down guy, and he is a pass-catching back. Now, does he take over Rachaad White immediately? Probably not. right? They invested in Rachaad White just as much draft capital they invested in Roscoe. So I do believe this is going to be maybe a 50-50 workload, maybe a 60-40, and then Roscoe continues to improve year by year, or sorry, game by game, and maybe sees his way onto the field a little bit more. So I'll take Roscoe here at the 205. I like the chances here, and I like the competition that is going to be given over there with Rachaad White.
Okay, I'm gonna go at the 206. Devin A-Chain. His name hasn't been called for a little while, and a lot of people are gonna like, well, he shouldn't have gone anyway. But I'll take him here at the 206. He goes to the Denver Broncos, and I'm trying to envision in my mind Sean Payton's plan if this was to be the pick. He's trying to turn the clock back and remember what Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara looked like together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is your discount Walmart off-brand version of Alvin Kamara, right? Javonte Williams clearly is the Mark Ingram in this scenario, and we think about Mark Ingram right now. It might leave a bad taste in your mouth, but that was a dude back in the day that you did not want to see heading towards you as a defender. Javonte Williams is the same exact way, and Devin A-Chain now heads to Denver, and clearly going to be the pass catching back, but will not have this sort of untapped potential that I want for him given other opportunities. But I'll take him here at the 206. I'm assuming Sean Payton. If Sean Payton is going to draft an offensive weapon, I'm going to trust in Sean Payton.
For sure. It makes sense, It makes sense. And, he comes in, he's going to have a clear role in my eyes here, Devin A-Chain, I guess once Javonte Williams is back and healthy. All right, the 207, I'm happy to take a quarterback here. I'll take my QB1. Give me C.J. Stroud going to the Houston Texans. Not only does he go there, he pairs up with Quentin Johnson, Damian Pierce, also Tajay Spears as well joins him. So I'll take C.J. Stroud here at the 207, and that's the first quarterback off the board.
Yeah, that is the first quarterback off the board. Do I want to go quarterback yet? Okay, I guess I will follow suit here. I'll take my QB1 in one quarterback formats. Mm-hmm. Y'all know this. Shoot for the moon here. And I'll go A-Rich with the Colts. I don't think we can underestimate how good this landing spot is for Anthony Richardson. Mm-hmm. With that coaching staff previously. Making Jalen Hurts, or not making him, but helping him become what he is today. Yeah, I think it's the perfect coaching staff to help out A-Rich. So I'll take him there at the 208.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree there. And, I was actually thinking about this as I was making C.J. Stroud's pick. Bryce Young, when it really comes down to it, am I really not saying that? I guess I'm challenging myself here live. C.J. Stroud goes to the Texans. Bryce Young goes to the Panthers. I like the Panthers landing spot significantly more than the Texans, right? We've seen the history of Frank Ryan and everyone coming in and bringing quarterbacks. Not only is Bryce Young just as good a quarterback, in my opinion, as CJ, but he's going to a strong foundation. So why wouldn't I take that strong foundation from what we've seen in the past that are with the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young? Once again, just challenging myself, also challenging you. Would you take, obviously, I think if you would, not you specifically, but the community, if you're not if Bryce Young is your QB2, would you take Bryce Young going to the Carolina Panthers over C.J. Stroud? And me asking that question to myself, I feel like I'm going to be taking Bryce Young just based off of the landing spot. Still great, both great talents. I still believe in C.J. Stroud, and he is still my QB1, but the landing spot, the foundation is so strong that I might lean that way. I might.
Well, the Texans got your wide receiver 1 in Quentin Johnston.
I agree. I'm not saying that's good or that's not good, right? I'm just saying, just challenging myself, right? Challenging the community. With the foundation that you've seen with the Carolina Panthers, and C.J. Stroud is your QB1, somebody that's out there, would you still take C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young based off of the question marks of the foundation with the Texans? That's all I would say.
Okay. All right, at the 210... there's a couple different ways that you could really go here. Mm-hmm. Man, there's no clear answer in my mind. Being 100% honest and transparent here, but I think what I will do is I'll draft Kendre Miller in the hopes he goes in the third round to the Giants. And, I have no doubt people are going to be telling us Kendre Miller's too low. Where's Kendre Miller? But if he goes to the Giants, I'm assuming they're going to figure this out with Saquon Barkley. And then what is he with Saquon Barkley? So really, the pick here at the 210 is hoping that they don't figure out the contract.
Yeah.
But otherwise, he's going to be a great complementary piece when Saquon needs a breath.
Nah, it makes sense. And, he was in the top 30 visits to the Giants for if Saquon Barkley does not sign his tag and maybe they get an offer for Saquon in the draft for whatever pick or whatever a price that they may really like, would they take that, right? And will they go draft a running back in the third round and get some more value somewhere else, maybe in a second round or an extra third, whatever the case may be? Hey, that can definitely be an option. Do I want that? Absolutely not. Okay, I'll take tight end here with my last pick. I'm really happy. I'll take Luke Musgrave here. He goes to the Green Bay Packers there with Jordan Love and Christian Watson. I think he fills in the gap, right? He fills in the need that he instantly comes, I feel like, the second option for this team outside of Christian Watson, right? Outside of Aaron Jones. There's no one else here that really competing. Obviously, Romeo Doubs is there. Alan Lazard left already. So I like Luke Musgrave, a freak of an athlete, a guy that can run the routes, and also I would say not the best blocker, but definitely if he improves on that, he can definitely be a great tight end here in the second round. So give me Luke Musgrave.
Okay, so I'm a little bit at a crossroads here because it's not that there's bad landing spots. It's just that it was tough to fit all those guys within 2 rounds. I want to preface this next pick by saying this is not the pick I would probably make if I had the 212. I'm making this pick to highlight a player and to start a conversation, okay? And that player is Sean Tucker, and he goes in the 6th round to the Kansas City Chiefs. Hear me out, okay? Again, I would not value him this high over these other players, but again, I'm wanting to start a conversation here. Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round pick. Sean Tucker, in this mock, a 6th round pick. No disrespect to Isaiah Pacheco, but I personally believe that Sean Tucker is a better prospect. If Sean Tucker and Pacheco go into camp, who's winning that battle? You guys tell me in the comments below. And you can't rely on draft capital. You can tell me, okay, Pacheco was there for the playoff run. I get it, okay? But running backs are replaceable. We know this.
Yeah.
They have the smallest lifespan. They're given the least amount of respect, whether it's right or whether it's not. But he's technically drafted around before Isaiah Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco fell in the draft for certain reasons. Sean Tucker is probably going to fall in the draft because of this health concern, which it's a undisclosed injury. So now you got Sean Tucker, Isaiah Pacheco. At minimum, Pacheco is probably playing the same role that he had. And then maybe Sean Tucker is taking over that Jerick McKinnon role because he is a very good receiving back. He improved his receiving profile each year at Syracuse. And I think he steps into that McKinnon role really, really well. In fact, I think Sean Tucker can play that McKinnon role better than McKinnon did himself. Elite burst, nearing elite speed. I mean, we'll see what he does at his pro day here on the 24th of April. But I think he's going to test really well if he truly is healthy. So I just want to start a conversation.
I get it.
Again, the Pacheco people are going to be down my throat about this, but this is how easy it is to start questioning Pacheco and his value.
In the 6th round, to Sean
The
Tucker.
only thing you're holding on to is, okay, he looked great in the NFL, which is fair. I totally get it. By the way, when you have Patrick Mahomes, people are going to say, well, look at the yards per attempt that he had. When you have one of the top 5 to 10 offensive lines in the NFL, and you have Patrick Mahomes, guess what? Most teams are going to be thinking you're passing the ball on every down. They are not going to be stacking the box against Patrick Mahomes so he can throw the ball deep, guys. I mean, that's just common sense. Of course, Pacheco is going to be at an advantage when he's given opportunities because no one's expecting this team to run the ball. So anyway, just playing devil's advocate here. Just starting a conversation.
I hear you. And this is exactly why we keep saying, sell Pacheco. He is a good sell opportunity right now. And like Zach's saying, it's as easy as getting a running back in the 6th round. Let's just say Sean Tucker went in the 5th round to the Chiefs. That is 2 rounds earlier than Pacheco, and the argument I would say is even better in the 5th round. And that's a bad round, right? That's a bad round for a running back to go to.
Well, let's say it's Zach Evans in the 4th or Chase Brown in the 4th.
Right? The challenge is already there. The Isaiah questioning is already there. His value from the 201 to the 203 now goes to the 205, maybe to the 208, just because of a 4th round running back, right? So there's so many questions that can come in. That's exactly why we would say sell Pacheco now, because if a 4th round, 5th round, 6th round running back does come in that we believe is a better talent, that we believe can easily challenge Isaiah Pacheco, I'm down for it, you know?
Yeah, and you know, it's a Chiefs fan saying this here, but I would say this: Pacheco. What running back and what round does it have to be where you're not worried? Like Kenny McIntosh doesn't worry me. Dwayne McBride. I mean, I'm not gonna say he doesn't worry me, but I'm not as fussed.
There's definitely some running backs, Zach.
If you love Pacheco, you can make an argument that there's a very high chance his value after the NFL draft is not worth the 201 like it currently is. So even if you love him, you could maybe sell him now. Is his value going to improve from the 201 after the draft? I don't know how his value improves. There's only value to lose, I think, at the 201.
And we won't know that his value will improve because it's not like he's going to get a contract extension. It's not like they're going to invest a little bit more and say, here's some money, right? So I think there's so much to lose by keeping Pacheco, and there's so much to lose when they do draft a running back. So, or if they draft a running back, but we would say if they do. But I think there are a lot there. I would say, and I said this in other videos, there are at least 12 running backs without a doubt that can easily take a job from one of the running backs in the NFL right now, including Isaiah Pacheco. I mean, we can go so many other running backs, but just talking about Isaiah Pacheco, that is 2 per round, essentially, right? Like, that is a lot of running backs that can take a job from somebody that the fantasy community is really believing in Pacheco right now, who was a 7th round pick. So it's tough. I would even say if Sean Tucker went in the 7th round, okay, that's still a challenge. That's still somebody coming in and affecting Isaiah Pacheco's workload from the jump, right? But I think the argument would be a little bit better on the Pacheco side, but still.
Yeah.
But still, like, okay, Sean Tucker won the 7th round, you know?
So after Pacheco, you have Clyde. You also have the Michael P. Ryan, but let's be honest, like, he's not seeing the field. That's it in Kansas City. It's Clyde and it's Pacheco. And whatever you believe about Clyde, maybe you feel like that's a safe backfield. I would say if I put a percentage on it, there's a 70% chance that they draft the running back. So I could be looking like an absolute fool after the NFL draft when they don't draft a single one. But I think there's a high percentage chance that they did. Anyway, I just want to start a conversation. Let's see what people say in the chat. That is it for today. Do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Again, this was from Dane Brugler, mock draft from The Athletic. You can see the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and drop a like, comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video. All love. Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, L-A-N-D, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy, even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.